When Kim Kardashian said one of her kids finally knew what was happening, the world stopped for a moment. For years, she'd managed to protect her children from the chaos surrounding her ex-husband Kanye West, or Ye, as he now goes by. But in the Season 7 premiere of The Kardashians, Kim revealed something raw, something deeply human. The pain of watching the truth finally reach your kids, no matter how hard you've tried to shield them. Her voice cracked as she admitted, "I'd been able to hide it for so long." Those words hit like a punch, not just for fans, but for anyone who's ever tried to keep their children safe from adult problems. Kim's honesty wasn't about fame or scandal. It was about motherhood, resilience, and the weight of trying to stay strong when the world is watching every move you make. Kim opened up about the toll that her relationship with Kanye took on her, not just emotionally, but physically. She revealed that her psoriasis, a painful skin condition she's battled for years, had come back after being dormant since their 2022 divorce. "I felt very tested," she said. "I have psoriasis again. I felt more stressed just because I had to super protect what I had to protect. My kids are involved now. It wasn't just about her. It was about being the shield, the emotional wall between her children and the chaos that sometimes surrounded their father." Off camera, a producer asked her the question everyone wanted to know. What goes through her mind when she sees Ye's behavior unfold publicly? Her answer was simple but heartbreaking. "My poor kids." That sentence carried more pain than any headline ever could. Kim went on to explain that everyone around her could handle the public drama, the friends, the family, the cameras. But her kids were a different story. "Protect my babies," she said, her tone both fierce and fragile. "They're going to grow up, they're going to see, they're going to know things." As a mother, her mission had shifted from managing a marriage to managing truth, deciding how much to reveal and when. And then came the moment that broke her heart. One of her 4 children knew what was happening. For years, she'd been able to hide the hurt, the headlines, the tension. But kids are smart. They see what adults think they're hiding. For Kim, it wasn't about blame anymore. It was about acceptance. She knew she couldn't protect them forever, only guide them through it. In that same moment, Kim reflected on how much she used to defend Kanye, even when his actions hurt her. "I always felt really bad, and always protected, and always wanted to help," she admitted. For years, she played the role of the peacekeeper, explaining things away for the sake of their kids, believing that holding the family together was more important than her own peace. But this time, something was different. She described her relationship with Ye as feeling like Stockholm Syndrome, where you grow attached to the person who causes your pain because you believe you can fix them. It was a haunting realization for someone who has always been seen as in control. "This was the first time," Kim said quietly. "I didn't feel that responsibility." She finally allowed herself to let go. Not out of anger, but out of survival. But letting go didn't mean walking away completely. Not when there were 4 children involved. Kim acknowledged that no matter what happens, Ye will always be part of her life because of their kids. "As much as people think I have the luxury of walking away and not dealing ever again, that's not the reality," she said. That honesty revealed the emotional complexity behind co-parenting with someone whose public image can shift overnight. She talked about how Ye once bought the house right next to hers, wanting to be close, to take the kids to school, have dinner together, maybe recreate some sense of normal family life. But as Kim explained, that ideal didn't last. "Obviously, it just wasn't what he wanted," she said, almost with acceptance rather than frustration. Her voice carried both exhaustion and grace, the tone of someone who's learned to live with what can't be changed. Kim shared how that plan of co-parenting side by side slowly fell apart. What started as an idea of togetherness turned into another reminder that their worlds had become completely different. "I get that maybe that's too much," she said, "but that's what I saw growing up." She talked about how her mom, Kris Jenner, and her stepdad had shown her what healthy co-parenting could look like. She had always wanted to give her kids that same stability. Two parents who could still show up, even when love changes shape. But life didn't follow that script. Kim didn't sound angry, just sad. The kind of sadness that comes from realizing some people can't meet you where you are, no matter how hard you try. "It is what it is," she said finally, not as surrender, but as peace. Acceptance after everything had become her strength. When asked if she ever expects Kanye to apologize, Kim didn't hesitate. "No," she said simply. "I'm not looking for it. I don't care." It wasn't bitterness, it was clarity. After years of trying to fix things, to understand, to carry the emotional weight of both parents, Kim had finally released that burden. She no longer needed closure from him because she had found it within herself. The years of defending, explaining, and protecting had hardened her in a way. But they'd also softened her toward what truly mattered, her peace and her children's well-being. Her calm confidence showed that healing isn't about getting an apology, it's about freeing yourself from waiting for one. Kim didn't want to be the victim of her past anymore. She wanted to be the example her kids could look up to when they learn the truth one day. As the episode came to a close, Kim reflected on everything she's endured, not as a celebrity, but as a mother trying to do right by her children in an impossible situation. She's no longer the woman holding on to what's broken. She's the one teaching her kids that even when life gets messy, love can still look like boundaries, honesty, and strength. Her story isn't about divorce or drama anymore. It's about growth. Watching Kim speak with such calm, you could feel the years of chaos settling into wisdom. "My job," she said, "is to protect my babies, and that's what she'll keep doing. Not by hiding the truth, but by showing them how to face it with grace." In a world obsessed with headlines, Kim Kardashian reminded everyone that behind every story, there's a heart just trying to heal. And maybe that's the most human part of Kim's story. Not the fame, not the fortune, but the quiet resilience it takes to rebuild your peace after years of public chaos. She's no longer defending Kanye, no longer explaining herself to the world. She's just existing, softer, stronger, and more self-aware than ever. In the end, Kim isn't asking for an apology or a happy ending. What she's showing is that healing isn't glamorous. It's real, raw, and often happens off-camera. Maybe that's why this moment on The Kardashians hit so hard. Because behind the designer clothes and billion-dollar empire, there's just a mom, doing her best to protect her kids, her peace, and her heart. And sometimes, that's more powerful than any headline could ever be.